Mary Esther Gilbert, who is in Arizona. And we are going to be talking about one of a lot of people's favorite products tonight, and that is ice. So let's delve into a little bit about the ingredients in ice and why they work so well, if you could.
Okay, then let's do that. So I'm going to give you like the Reader's Digest rendition, as quickly as I can. We do have a lot of ingredients in a lot of these formulations, but this one's not so large, so it'll be great. So basically, okay, let's take the aloe vera. Basically, it's an anti-inflammatory. It will heal inflamed tissues, and it'll reduce, and by reducing the inflammation, you're eliminating the pain. And it has a lot of healing properties too that restore the tissues. So when you have damaged tissues, you have inflammation. So it has properties that will reduce the inflammation and also heal. Okay, especially in the stomach lining, the intestines and things like that. And it's also a great antifungal, antibacterial. So topically, it even heals, burns and whatnot on the skin. But inside the stomach, it will heal ulcers. So that's one great thing about the aloe vera. And of course, they had to put that in the ice. And then we have the carrot. It has a lot of things that protect against different types of tumors forming or cancers forming. So it's great for that. But the reason it's in this formulation is because it's really soothing to the digestive tract. So anytime someone is sick, of course, you've got the chicken soup with the vegetables in it, and there's always carrots in there, right? So there's nothing more soothing than the carrot. So that's another reason why they put that in the formulation. Then we've got the German chamomile flowers. That's always been a very soothing thing. It's even known to be given to babies, colicky babies, to settle their stomach. It aids digestion. It improves all kinds of things in the other things like kidney, bladder, liver, things like that. Everything that's processing and smoothing things out throughout the digestive tract and the eliminative, areas in the body. So it's really useful for stomach ulcers as well. It's been known to repair stomach ulcers in the stomach. It prevents gallstones. It's very antimicrobial, antibacterial. So it's great for a lot of digestive issues, stomach and intestinal disorders, all kinds of stomach aches, diarrhea, irritable bowel, and even lesions in the colon. It's been known to repair that as well. And of course, other areas in the whole large intestine. It has these botanicals have a lot of other properties too. They're pretty pan-systemic, but I'm just focusing on why they were chosen for the ice formulation. Okay, and then we've got the.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, Ruth.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So licorice root is the next one. And that's a very cleansing, blood cleansing, herb. And it also improves stomach functioning for digestion. It's antimicrobial. It'll destroy all kinds of bacteria, especially the ones like Staphylococcus, the staph infections, Pseudomonas, which is prevalent in hospitals, and E. coli. So all of these bacteria can be destroyed through ingesting of the licorice root or its phytochemical compounds that are in the formulations. So that's another great soothing herb. So then we have the meadowsweet, which is also anti-inflammatory. It helps boost the immune system functioning to identify things that shouldn't be in the body. It's a great antacid. It'll neutralize too much stomach acids. It's also anti-ulcerogenic, antimicrobial. It actually helps the appetite while assisting in the digestive process, helps relieve heartburn. Heartburn is usually caused by not having enough digestive acids in the stomach. So the food just sits there and it starts getting, kind of putrid, and it just won't digest or break down. So that's what causes a lot of the heartburn problems. But so this will also help the digestive process to help get it going, So it reduces inflammation in the stomach and reduces flatulence. So meadowsweet is really good. It's also antimicrobial, antifungal, antiviral, parasitic, antibacterial, and it'll help repair damaged cells throughout the body, helps regulate blood sugar, all kinds of other good stuff. So I'll stop right there at meadowsweet, even though I could go on and on. All right, so sea buckthorn berry. I had never heard of sea buckthorn berry, and I thought, I hope I find something on sea buckthorn berry. But when I looked at the scientific research, there was plenty plenty of scientists have, delved into what the buckthorn berry does. So it's also been found for gastritis, stomach inflammation, peptic ulcer caused by that horrible Helicobacter pylori, which causes the ulcers. And so it will destroy the bacteria and help repair those tissues. So it'll reduce inflammation, or even the inflammatory proteins that the body makes, like C-reactive protein, the cytokines, things like that. So, it's been indicated in helping to prevent heart disease and hardening of the arteries, which is atherosclerosis. So, liver repair, reducing blood clots, those dangerous blood clots, if they hang around in the damaged blood vessels too long, they will block the circulatory flow, cause strokes and heart attacks, things like that. Also helps to repair skin damage like burns and radiation burns and all kinds of skin conditions like eczema. Then it's also anti-inflammatory. It's been good for rheumatoid arthritis and diarrhea, dyspepsia, any kind of stomach problems. Just improves the gastric emptying. So when your food is emptying the stomach, it will help the motility. So it moves the food through the digestive tract. It causes stomach and colon, it protects against stomach and colon cancers. All right, so all kinds of other things like radiation damage, I can go on and on, but let's move on to the next one, peppermint essential oil. So the essential oils are actually the lifeblood, the fluids of the plants, and they're very concentrated. So it only takes just a couple of drops really to soothe the stomach. And I don't know how much essential oil is in each one of our APL drops, but it's a very, very soothing type of oil. It's been shown to be antimicrobial against the E. coli, Staph aureus, and Pseudomonas, all these other bacteria that cause all kinds of pathogenic problems in our digestive system, in our bloodstream. So these are all destroyed by the peppermint essential oil. Also, it benefits things like it's anti-inflammatory, it's a great anesthesia, so it'll help attenuate pain, it improves digestion, and also helps the nervous system. So I've read studies about how if you use the peppermint essential oil, then you can improve how your mind thinks, and you can improve your attention span and ability to focus and concentrate and learning retention, things like that. So that's our wonderful ice formulation in a nutshell.
You said something that I caught on to. I don't know how many other people know this, and I think it's important that we talk about it. Cytokine storms in people's bodies. I've heard about it, I know about it, but I don't think most people know. And when you said that the sea buckthorn berry can help protect about those cytokines, can you kind of explain to people what the immune system is doing when there's a cytokine storm in your body?
Yeah, when it detects something completely foreign and invasive that is a threat to your life, your body automatically starts manufacturing these types of proteins. There's a lot of different reactive proteins in the body. So if you've been severely injured, and your life is really in danger, then all these inflammatory proteins are just flooding the system, trying to help the immune system get rid of this problem or heal the problem as fast as it can, so that the person will live. So this is sometimes a matter of life and death. So C-reactive proteins and the cytokines, all kinds of other proteins that the body has to manufacture, right away, is really important. So the diet is very important. You have to maintain the right types of protein, and this is animal-derived proteins. They have the most complete range of essential amino acids your entire body needs every single day in order to replicate the cells properly, to maintain the DNA. Your body is constantly splitting the cells. The mother cell becomes, the new cell is a copy of the mother cell. So your cell turnover rate is very, very important for maintaining your health. If something goes wrong in that DNA, then that's where disease happens. That's where the problem really begins, and that's where health starts to deteriorate. So it's important to have the right types of proteins. Not only are you maintaining your tissues and your integrity of your DNA, but you're also making sure that your immune system forces are right there and ready to go. And that means being able to manufacture those inflammatory reactions to save your life, kind of thing.
Now, that sea buckthorn in the ice and the cytokine, when it relates to the cytokine storm, does that mean that ice can actually, because a lot of people, their cytokine storms, their body reacts and then it doesn't know when to shut off. And that's when there's a lot of problems. Is ice going to actually be a benefit to people that are experiencing cytokine storm?
Well, like I said, you have to maintain the right full range of nutrients, and that means the right proteins, the right fatty acids, the right types of whole food carbohydrates, staying hydrated with properly hydrating water, which doesn't mean tap water, doesn't mean distilled water. You've got to have purified spring water, constantly in your system to help distribute the nutrients throughout the body and deliver nutrients and oxygenated cells, things like that. So it all has to be present in order to maintain a strong immune system. Getting plenty of sunlight also has a great deal to do with producing vitamin D, which is the precursor for all sorts of hormones that monitor the system and communicate with the nervous system, so that and the hormonal system, and this means regulating the immune system as well. If you are nutrient deficient, then your immune system will suffer as well. So that DNA in your immune cells will suffer. So you have to maintain the DNA. That's the most important thing to do, and that's done through the right nutrition, the right nutrient factors. And also, these plants in our formulations are high in what are called phytonutrient compounds. So these phytochemicals in these plants have been shown. There's been so much research done just on the phytochemical compounds in these botanicals alone. There's more research on individual compounds than the whole plants themselves. So it's really important to understand you're not only getting the right nourishment through these botanicals, but you're also helping to repair, to cleanse, detoxify, and boost your immune cells. They also act as secondary metabolites, which means they act on their own to destroy the invasive organisms that cause illness, reduce inflammation, detoxify, bind to toxic chemicals. So the immune system is also repaired, in this process as well. So it's boosted and helped along. So anyway, I'm sorry. I think I went a little bit too far off on a tangent there, Ruth, but
no, never.
Yeah.
Like I said, I learned so much from you. One of the things that I really want to touch on is I've had a lot of people say, my stomach, I have a lot of digestive issues. I'm afraid to take something like this because if it goes into my stomach, I'm going to get sicker. Can you talk about the importance of the plant DNA and the absorption through the mucosa in the mouth with our drops? Because there's nothing else like it on the market, which is absolutely incredible for all of us.
Absolutely. Yeah, and there's more to the picture. I'll respond to the plant DNA and the absorption factor as well, but I want to go one step beyond as to the cause of these types of problems. People who have problems digesting food, okay? So I'm going to make a note for me so I don't forget. Okay, so the plant DNA. Now, plants and human cells are almost identical. We both living things, they produce their own, they repair their tissues. They have like a lifeblood of the plants is like the essential oils and other fluids in the plants. And so, we have that in common. We have immune systems that protect us from invasive microorganisms. Plant have that too. And that's all in the plant DNA. These are the genetic codes of instructions that tell the body, whether it's human body or the body of the plants, what to do and how to protect itself. So that's what these phytochemical compounds are. They're immune factors that protect the plant. But because we're so identical in our biology with plants at the cell level, then we can also use those phytonutrients. So it's important to make sure that we take in the plant food, the plant kingdom. The other food groups are important too, but those plant kingdom phytochemical compounds are some of the most important things you can do for your body to maintain it and protect it, especially the integrity of the DNA. By integrity of the DNA, I'm talking about making sure your genetic codes, all the gene sequences on that double helix are in the right proper order. Because if the DNA gets damaged, then the order of those genes gets confused or out of place, and they may not always get repaired properly. They can replicate confused like that in that improper order, and that's another way to start the disease process. So that's our job, is to make sure that we are maintaining the integrity of our DNA. Plant DNA and human DNA are 100% compatible. enzymes are pretty important, and our drops are still viable. They contain the live active enzymes. Without enzymes, we can't break down our foods. We have the lipase, enzymes for fats. We've got the protease enzymes for breaking down proteins. We've got the sugar paste, enzymes that break down sugars in like the complex starchy foods. So we've got all kinds of enzymes, but we have to continually take in foods that are still active that way. Raw foods, active, the way that our drops are, they still contain those viable enzymes and active nutrient factors like the phytonutrients, the phytochemical compounds. Those are all as if you're taking in a raw food. So that's what's so different and great about the drops. They still are active. If you buy any other supplement out there, you'll be lucky if they try to preserve the enzymes, which doesn't last because of the shelf life and just the way they have to process the tablets and the powders. Those enzymes just don't survive that long. But because we are enclosed in the crystallized, drops, then those will retain its shelf life for a long time and the viability of the enzymes. So yeah, enzymes are so important for breaking things down. If we don't take in the raw enzymes in our foods and in the drops, then our body has to steal from itself, from its live tissues, from its live cells, and try to create the enzyme necessary to do the digestion. So cooked foods are fine, but overcooking foods is bad. Even steaming them destroys the enzyme. So minimize that. Just eat as many, from 50 to 75% of your diet should be in the form of raw foods, raw fruits and berries, raw vegetable salads, and all those wonderful things in the plant kingdom, trying to preserve those enzymes that are so, so important. Without enzymes, nothing happens in the body. All life would come to a standstill if it weren't for enzymes. But when I discovered why my clients, when their health transformations happened, I thought, boy, look at them just light up. They're so vibrant and they're changing their lives. They have more courage to change their lives. Their relationships are improving, and some of them even got divorces because they realized they were in very bad relationships, and they had the courage to move on. So this is a phenomenon that I looked at for 40 years, and I thought, what is going on? I mean, sure, they're eating right and their physical health is improving, but there's something else. There's a light in them. And when I found out about biophysics, which is a subfield of physics, and a subfield of biophysics is biophotonics, where they have technology to evaluate how lit up the body is. So as an energy healer myself, I was able to feel those energies around the human body in my clients, So light at the cellular level is absorbed. So when we go out in the sunlight, or when we ingest plants that have been out absorbing sun from, light from the sun, then we'd be able to transfer that light into our own cells. And it was very well said by this one PhD that I happened upon one time, and he was doing a lecture, right, and it was on YouTube. So when he said that our cells are like little energy battery packs, we store light energy. So and then also other studies in biophysics have shown that the human body will vibrate at a high frequency when it is healthy. So the healthier a person is, the higher their vibrational frequency at which their cells vibrate will exist, right? So I found that at 52 megahertz, the body is in a very sick, disease process situation, whereas 62 megahertz and above, the person is healthy and vibrant and disease free. Okay, so I've been writing about this. I've been adding this to my books. I'm so excited to be able to share that extra bit of information to encourage people to eat raw foods and be out in the sunlight and exercise and just try to be more alive. And it just snowballs, all these nutrients and all this light energy frequencies, and all these enzymes, and all these nutrient factors, they all come together for a more vibrant human being. And people are discovering their higher human potential. When you're feeling this vibrant, then you can go out and do stuff and feel confident that you will succeed. And there's no way the universe is going to say no to you when you're in that state, because you're in the same kind of vibration as the whole universe. All right, so we're talking about gut flora, right? And taking MLS along with the ice. Absolutely. The more phytochemical compounds you put in your body, the more your body's going to love it. Every single one of our multiple trillions of cells can always use these molecules. So, it'll go to work to help detoxify without anything harsh. Of course, I never advocate harsh detoxification. That's crazy. But we're bombarded with unhealthy things in the air, in the water, in our food. And even if we eat right and drink the right water, it's still going to get us. We've got pesticide drift going across the organic farms from the non-organic farms. We've got the pollutants that are in our water. We humans have to start finding ways to detoxify and cleanse our environment so that we aren't affected. So it's not embedded in our fatty tissues. It doesn't affect our nerve cells and destroy our nerve cells, affect our hormonal system and cause reproductive problems or cognitive learning problems, things like that. Being able to focus and retain information, all that is being affected. Folks, we have been dumbed down by so many pollutants. And so taking good care of your body properly, as well as you can over time will help you detoxify, will help combat what the environment pollutants might do to us. These botanicals will repair. If you come along right behind it and take in these botanicals, then your body will constantly be repairing things, and you can stay on top of it, you can stay ahead of it. So maintaining the gut flora means you're not taking in the junk, the refined sugars, refined white flour and white rice. All of those things have been stripped of their vitamins and minerals and their fiber, which is so important for cleaning out the colon and to and eating raw foods for the enzymes so your body can manufacture the hydrochloric acid and other digestive juices in the stomach, so you can break down these different types of foods. So all that is so important to make sure that you maintain the right gut flora, because the certain fibers in these plants will help nourish the gut so that the aerobic bacteria will thrive rather than the anaerobic disease-causing or illness-causing pathogenic bacteria. So all those bacterium that I mentioned in some of these botanicals in ice are the anaerobic, non-oxygen loving, thriving things that love to feed on the sugars that people eat. So you want to eliminate all those refined products, anything refined. Stay away from genetically modified organisms, genetically modified crops. Those have been associated more and more as studies and research goes on to affect the hormonal system, the nervous system, the digestive system as well. So yeah, stick to as many organic foods as you possibly can. And keep taking the drops. The MLS and the ICE are the perfect pair to help keep those gut flora healthy and reduce the illness-causing organisms down.
So will that help with IBS? We have a lot of people that are constantly talking about IBS. Is, for those that don't know, is irritable bowel syndrome. And there are two types. There are constipation IBS and diarrhea IBS. Some people have both and it switches back and forth. Is ice a good product for people with IBS to take on a regular basis?
Absolutely. So the ice has properties, the plant chemical properties that will help regulate the environment in the gut, or help you digest your food properly. So if you're alternating between constipation and diarrhea, that means that there are microorganisms there that are causing the diarrhea, and then you're not taking in enough fiber to help sweep out of the food to exit the body properly. Because when you eat enough fiber, then the peristaltic action, the muscular action in the colon is supposed to be strong to be able to push everything out. And so if you can't do that, if your residue is just sitting there, putrefying and feeding the disease-causing, the diarrhea-causing organisms, anaerobic organisms, then you're going to have a combination of both problems. You'll be constipated, and your immune system is trying to overcome these microorganisms. And